TL Blaze. Welcome back to my career mode demo series. This is video 7. In our last video, made it to the moon. There you see I got 773 science points to play with. So naturally I want to see what I can spend that science on. So spend those research points. I know I've talked about wanting to build a satellite, and I'm going to need advanced electronics for that for sure. But I'm also trying to figure out what's the most efficient way to keep gaining science. So, like I mentioned, I'm definitely going to go back to the Mun, reach a different biome this time. You know, most of the big craters are unique biomes. I think I landed in the Midlands, which wasn't even a crater, and there was a crater nearby that I probably should have stopped in. So, lots of other places in the Mun that I can visit. They look roughly the same, but counts as a separate biome. So I'm going to go back to the Mun. So here I'm just trying to decide what are the research, what's the technology that's going to help me boost the most. And I'm thinking it's going to be any more science experiments. So there you see me going up the tech tree to get to electronics, because electronics has 2 new science experiments that are going to help me gain a lot of research points, science points. So I'm going to resist the urge to go up to the top of the tech tree there and get bigger engines and fuel tanks and things like that in the science lab. Things that I really want that they're not going to give me as big of a return on investment right away. So there you see me spending the rest of my points. And I'm going to do this, repeat the same mission that I did last time. There I found a contract for planting the flag on the Mun. I plan to do that anyway, so I might as well grab it. And here's my first Minmus contract. So I don't want it to expire in 5 hours, so I'm going to go ahead and accept that mission. So when we finish the Mun mission, I guess Minmus is next on our radar. So I saved my lander, so I'm just going to go ahead and grab that and reuse it. Some new parts that I think I just unlocked. Struts. Remember, takeoff on the last flight. The top section is a little wobbly, so maybe these struts are going to help stabilize it. Those are new. I can use struts now. And then definitely going to add my science experiments. I got 2 new ones. My magnetometer, I think it's called, and there the yellow one, the seismic accelerometer. So the accelerometer, I think, is only useful on the surface of the Mun, whereas the magnetometer is useful in orbit. So I'll get to use both of those. I can also use them around Kerbal. I can use the magnetometer at least around Kerbal, get some science before I even get to the Mun. So that's it. I don't think there's any other new components that I need to add. I think I considered adding a probe core, but these probe cores at the lower levels, they only give you prograde and retrograde, which I think my level 1 pilot can do that anyway, so I don't really need to add a probe core. It's not going to give me any benefit. So yeah, like I said, same basic mission profile. So instead of taking Bob and Jeb, let's take somebody new. Like I said, they don't get any additional experience. There it says planted the flag on the Mun. So he got 5 experience points in his log for planting the flag. He doesn't need to go back to the Mun. He's not going to get any more points for doing the same thing twice. So I think I'm going to grab Valentina. She's one of the original 4 Kerbonauts. And then I'd like to send a scientist, but I've only got Bob. He's my only scientist right now. So I'm going to go ahead and send Mad Mal, another pilot. Pilots are great. Engineers won't be useful for a while. And then the flight's going to be basically the same as before, so we're going to skip right through this. Basically, I just need to stage my asparagus style boosters while they empty 2 at a time, and get into a nice circular orbit around Kerbal. And I'm going to run my new science experiment and see how much science we're going to get for that, and load it into our return module, because all those experiments are going to get dumped again. And that's it. Let's see if the Mun's going to be at a good position again this time, or if I'm going to have to do a rotation or 2 around the planet. Let me see me running my experiment. Nice long boom. Very interesting. That's a new experiment. Yep, so my maneuver node was a little further away. This time I am using a maneuver node just to show you. And there's my core stage with all that fuel. Very over-engineered design again. And there's my transfer stage. Getting down to 400 meters per second. Yeah, see that burn timer. I didn't catch it before it started, but it was definitely around 2 minutes. So nice long burn for that small Terrier engine, but it gets the job done. So this time I can circularize at the same spot if I'd like to, the same inclination, because there's so many different craters and features at that same elevation or at that same inclination on the Mun. But I'm actually going to approach right on top of a unique feature. This is a set of twin craters. I don't recall the name of it, but I guess we'll get to see it here in a second. So this counts as a separate biome. I'm going to run all the experiments and collect all the data and get a whole lot of more points. There's a nice shot of Kerbal on the horizon there. Yep, I'm in the crater. I'm going to run all these experiments. And then Valentina and Madmar, they're going to jump out, plant the flag, get their experience, and get back in. Yeah, the twin craters, that's the name of this biome. I don't need a moon rock on this mission. I don't have any contracts for it, and I think once you collect a Mun rock, that's it. You don't need to collect anymore. I don't think you get any additional science. There are other features on the Mun. There's some tiny little craters. You might have seen it in the last video. It almost looked like a rock, but it's a tiny impact crater or something. Those you can go and use a scanning arm on a rover, which I haven't built yet in this series. But yeah, that's it for what I can do on the Mun. Again, I probably had enough fuel to bounce to another biome, but I didn't bring a scientist along, and yeah, I'm happy just to return back to Kerbal, get my science for this mission, and send some different Kerbonauts and give them some more experience points. I think now that I'll have a chunk more of science, I can start researching the technology that's going to allow me to build a space station, a rover, and that sort of thing. So that's it for this video. If you got something out of it, I hope you did. Please hit that like button or leave a comment. I think in our next mission, we'll go to Minmus now that we've got a contract for that. So hope you enjoyed the video. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next time.